You've reached Monster 911, and I'm Lance Hightower. I've been taking cryptid emergency calls for over 5 years. If you have a cryptid emergency, please call our toll-free number 866-306-8085. I can help you. What's your emergency? Welcome back, everyone, to Monster 911. My name is Lance Hightower, and I'm so honored that you're tuning in once again with me. Today's show is a classic, but before we get to the show, we have a lot to talk about here for a second before the show. If you're the first-time listener, please do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I promise you'll be glad you did, and your friends are not going to want to miss any of these episodes as well. So tell them about me, and trust me, you're going to want to listen. It's addicting, and you need to learn this stuff when you're out in the woods. Trust me on this. And if you've seen something, this is to the people right now I'm appealing to, that you've seen something that may have frightened you, or you're just still puzzled to this day. It didn't quite set easy with you, and you'd like to share with someone who understands. Call me, toll free, day or night, 24/7, 365. The number is 1-866-306-8085. Again, that's 1-866-306-8085. I'll either text you or call you back within 24 hours or less. Sharing is good medicine for the soul, guys. So let's talk about what happened. I can help. I've been recently, some of the things I've been doing, I've recently been in the field filming for you guys wild camping at night at creature sighting locations confirmed by the eyewitness. They showed me where everything happened, and I've been alone. That's right, alone. In addition, I've also been crazy busy filming and recording loads of toll-free call-ins from guests all over the country, and some of these are going to knock your psychological socks off, guys. I always say that I'm not surprised, but every time I say that, just mentally, someone has an encounter that I just can't even believe. These poor folks out there that have these encounters. I'm just so thankful they call me, and I'm so glad that I can be here to help them. Also, I was very fortunate here recently to locate and purchase a truck that I'd been kind of oogling over for a long time. Well, I actually got lucky, and I found one, and I'm going to use it for my in-the-field investigations, which I will reveal to you soon. I know that you're going to love it, and I want to know what you think and what I should add to it for my in-the-field investigations. So I'm going to ask for your comments when I show you guys. Also, don't forget that we're on the social media sites. They're going to be listed down below in the description. Aside from YouTube, we're on the social media platforms, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So find your favorite one and go there. Also, don't forget to check out the website store. So when you go to the website at www.monster911.com, you click on it where it says enter. That will bring up the website. Then go in the top menu bar, click store, and that'll take you right there to the Monster 911 t-shirts. There's all kinds of colors. They're really good, heavy cotton shirts with a really heavy print. You guys will love them, so they make a great gift. Also, guys, here soon we'll be releasing the multi-series of exclusive shows. With each series, we're going to be releasing a show each day. Yes, a show each day. Series 1 will be The War with Dogman. Series 2, the Kansas Bigfoot. Series 3, A Texas Ranger Told Me We Know Bigfoot Exists But Never Tell. Series 4, Family Sees Werewolf in Town. Series 5, A Guy in a Ghillie Suit. No Way. So stay tuned for those, guys. You're not going to want to miss those. We're working on them really hard for you, and you'll get a show each day of the series. So let's go ahead and get to the show for today, guys. This next guest got in touch with us back in 2019 and stated that he and his family members captured an image of something on a trail cam that they're not sure what exactly they've managed to catch on the camera. They wanted to know more, and so they went deeper into the woods during the day to hunt this creature, but soon had second thoughts and backed out. Now, game cameras and trail cams are notoriously unreliable, of course, as many of you know, when it comes to photographing images of Sasquatch, Dogman, and the like. But once in a while, we get something that isn't easy to identify. And, of course, the knee-jerk reaction is to go to, I've got one. But we need to be careful for two reasons here, folks. First, sharing these images too quickly and being proved wrong can damage your reputation and the reputation of other cryptid investigators and hunters out there. And secondly, perhaps the picture you got is a Bigfoot. Well, then you might get a knock on the door from someone you don't want at your door. You've got to be careful with these pictures, folks. I know you're excited. I know these creatures. You know, it's when you get these pictures, it's like I've proven it, I've proven it, I've proven it, and I'm with you, and I hear you, and I agree with you. But you don't always need to go to social media to prove something. I would suggest keeping low, keeping quiet, keeping calm for a while. Then, with no phones around, then share the insights of what you caught on camera with someone. Leave your phone at the house, walk around outside, and tell them in private. But the image this family captured has been playing on their minds and definitely has put the fear of God into them. So they came to me and asked what I think it is and what they should do next.
We got us a trail camera picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which we're all very undecided on what our official verdict on what it is. But it's not nothing we've seen.
What?
It was lower to the ground. It's probably 3-4 foot tall.
Okay.
Got real big, like hunched up legs, back legs. You really can't tell the front legs from the flash on the trail camera, but the thing about it is the eyes. It has huge eyes, bigger than anything we've really seen on trail camera. It's not a hog. It's not a mountain lion. It's not a bobcat. It's not a coyote.
How did you get the picture from a SD card or a micro SD card? How do you have it?
How do I have the picture? This is my cousin, unnamed cousin, hunting land just to the south of my house. And he sent me the picture, called me, asked me what the hell it was. It was on his camera the day before yesterday. Yesterday, we loaded up all our guns and stuff. We went down there, and it was just eerily quiet and creepy, and we kept hearing something kind of low chuffs moving around us, and like it freaked my cousin out.
Really?
He was sitting there just chain smoking cigarettes the whole time we were out there, and it was.
Is there a way that I can take a look at that by chance?
The picture?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just need.
Here's what we do.
Over text.
Well, actually, instead of doing that, is there a way you can send it to my email?
Yes, I can send it to your email.
Okay.
And I've got one other thing.
Yes, sir.
I went to the store today and got talking to a guy that works there who he fishes out here at American Horse a lot. And he said he's got a buddy that hunts in there, put trail cameras out, and they got a similar picture, just a little more up close and detailed. That its back end had real big back legs, scrawnier body, elongated snout. Now, I don't know how the hell I could get those, but he said, like, these were some regular pictures this guy was getting semi-frequently out of the lake.
Out around the lake?
Yeah, around in the woods around the lake, because you can hunt that through the fall.
Uh-huh.
It's a state hunting area.
Well, but you don't know who the guy was?
No, I couldn't tell you. I'll tell you, though, the guy that told me, he said he personally saw the pictures. And he wouldn't make nothing like that up.
Of course not. No. Most people wouldn't. That'd be too much of a ridicule issue if
Well, yeah, I mean, and my cousin's dad, who owns that, like, he said he gets these weird pictures every 10 years, like in a 10-year cycle.
Really?
And he had it the last 10 years actually treat him. Did never see it. Said it was running real fast around him. And it wasn't until his son and his brother came back and shot that he was able to come down.
Do you know, was he deer hunting during that time, during a fall season?
It was more towards like this time, pre-deer season, August, September.
Okay.
In through there. Pig hunting. Just, I mean, anytime we go in the woods, we're hunting.
Sure. Well, a lot of folks, like you said, right now they're doing pre-scouting for, I mean, primarily deer. Right now they're getting their stands ready. They're getting them set up to get, all the blinds, get everything gassed out, send it out, and they're planting their clover crops and all that. And they're doing it here pretty quick. So if you
Which
can...
I'd like to be doing, but all this curiosity about whatever's living up the creek from me is kind of getting the better of me.
Well, it goes from a fear, unknowing, frightful type of event to an obsession. Like you want to find out.
Me and him have been hunting together for a while, and we've never been scared like that. And I'll tell you, like, we were down there and we were armed. I had 3 guns and about 160 rounds of ammunition on me. Like, I was ready to take a war to whatever was living in there. We didn't fire a shot.
How close were you into the tree? Like were you deep in the woods, or were you away from...
We were deep in the woods.
Okay. So here's the thing. You want to put some distance between you and a tree line. Let it come to you. That's kind of how Wiley Dave and we do it. We don't get in the trees because you're just not going to have the advantage after dark. What you want to do is you want to get about...
This is daylight. We're down there in the daylight.
Oh.
This is yesterday afternoon at like 5:30. No, this isn't. We ain't stupid enough to go in the woods at night, especially not down there.
Okay, I'm just clarifying just to make sure. So you're in the daytime and you're down in the bottoms and during the day, and you still have that feeling.
After yesterday, though, I'm kind of to the point. Like, if this thing's going to be around, I ain't hunting this year. It ain't worth it. And if it wants to threaten us, me and both, or if this is recorded, cut that out.
Oh, yeah.
Cut the name.
No, I don't do things. I don't put any names anymore, anything. Hey, I'm curious. So, and I keep asking this question, where you're at, is it on his property, your cousin's, or is it public?
Where we're at yesterday is his property.
It is.
Right.
Does he normally go down that deep in that area, or is that an area he just doesn't go very often?
This is a frequented area.
Really?
This is an area he's been in a lot. Yeah. This is evidently just started. Like, this is a this week thing.
Wow. Man, I would love to go down there.
That camera that this picture I'll send you,
yes, sir,
was taken on, was put out on Sunday. This was Sunday night into Monday.
Did you guys put that on a trail, or how did you position
corn feeder? And the thing that really scared him, he'd set up his blind yesterday, and we got down there, and there were all these tree limbs around this blind that were broke. And he just kind of looked at me, and he's like, "Bro, that wasn't broke yesterday or the day before yesterday."
Well, like tree limbs, like fresh breaks around the whole blind.
Fresh breaks all throughout these woods and like big limbs. at first we kind of thought, oh, this might just be a mountain lion and might have got ballsy, but a mountain lion ain't gonna break every limb.
No, and they can't do it in the first place. They don't have an opposing thumb. They can't grasp. Now, they can fall out of a tree and accidentally break a limb, but the likelihood of that happening is far remote to nil. So I'm going to say you had something with an opposing thumb that had an intention to break these limbs for whatever reason that means. If it's a signal to other ones like them, that means something, or it's a signal to you or whoever down there that you will see those limbs broken, that you will understand there's something else down there, that it doesn't want you down there.
His dad said the pictures will stop after a while and it'll go away. But him and a small group of people around here I talked to about this. If this thing with us through hunting season, we're going to torch the woods. We're going to light it all on fire.
Well,
I ain't having this around the house.
How far is his house and your house from this location?
His physical house is miles and miles from me. Now, this piece of property is less than a mile from my house.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Part of me doesn't want to fuck with it, but then part of me is like, this is my backyard.
Yeah, you don't want that there. So my concern is how close it is, but my other concern is from past in observing some of these that I've seen at a distance, where you see one, you see another one. There's another one around. They don't usually go rogue isolated. There's usually others in the area. So you may have caught one, but there may be others that you're not seeing, because as far as I can gather, these are a very communal pack type of creature. They just don't, they're not like an isolated creature. They do better in packs. That's how they hunt. So that's my other concern. Now, a question.
Well,
another question here? I'm skipping around here, so my apologies. Have you seen anyone else in that area? Any weird vehicles, blacked out window vehicles, helicopters, drones, anything like that?
I mean, you see a lot of black window vehicles, but the problem is I'm usually not in a place I can see the tags, and there's a lot of oil fields through here, and most of them have blacked out windows. I don't know why, heat, whatever.
Okay.
You see a lot of them with unmarked cars.
Okay.
So I don't want to say that, I have the game warden has been back out more frequently in the last week.
Okay.
With his buddies down at the lake.
And the game wardens, in my opinion, I mean, they're good guys to help with conservation, but they're not so good when you tell them what you saw, or if they see one down there, they'll never put it on public record what they saw, and they'll never admit to what you saw. They'll just listen to you. If you say, hey, man, I got this scary-looking creature, you got to take a look at it, they're going to go, and then what they're going to turn around and do is call some other people that'll be out there and have that whole area quarantined. That's happened right now as we're speaking, right here in Tulsa. There's a park here that a kid saw one of these out there late at night at the park. He goes out there with his dog on a very regular basis after work. He works at a casino. And he goes out there. Well, he was out there after midnight driving around, and this creature, he thought somebody with a quad razor, a 2x2 quad razor with its lights off, was driving right next to him, and he saw it out of the periphery of his headlights. And as it got more in front of him, as he was making a turnabout, kind of like in a cul-de-sac at the end of this park, he realized it wasn't what he thought it was. It was as he hesitated and took a deep breath and told me it was as big as a VW bug. It was probably anywhere from 800 to 900 pounds. He said this thing had thick legs. It had a waist like a bodybuilder, and the upper mass was so freaking big. He just says, I have nothing to compare how big it was. It was just massively cut, jacked. And he said it was crouched so far forward in its movement as it was kind of trotting. I don't think a human could get in that crouching position, he said. I can't even, I would have to lean so far forward to even show you that I don't even know how it was moving that way. And it looked over its left shoulder at him and gave this, he said, I know it's going to sound crazy what I'm going to say, but it gave this grin like, you can't do anything about it, and yeah, I'm showing you. And then it went on into the woods. Well, now what happened, he went out there the next day, and I said, you need to go out there and take a look and see if there's anyone else out there. Well, the place where he normally goes, padlocked. He went to another location, padlocked. Another location in the park, padlocked. Every place that was padlocked, there was a sole car there backed in, dark tinted windows. And one of the cars followed him as he was leaving. He goes back a day later, same cars, same parking lot, backed in. So they've got that area right now. They're trying to find this thing.
Well, I'll tell you, a lock us in, they're going to have a whole lot worse things to worry about than whatever's running around in the woods.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
But I don't know what to do.
Well,
I want to hunt this fall. I want to be out. But at the same time with this around...
Does he hog hunt on his property?
Yeah.
And right now, is there any... there's no license or that you need for hunting hogs right now. Do they allow you to hunt?
No, sir.
How about at night?
That's kind of one of those gray area type deals.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Well,
you technically need that enables you to spotlight them at night. But on the other hand, if you can prove they're doing damage to your property, you can do whatever, any means necessary. You can go there with a machine gun if you want to.
Okay.
You can go out there with a cannon.
And tell me again, from Oklahoma, American Horse Lake is how many miles?
I think it's like miles.
Okay.
You plug it into the GPS, it'll show you right where it's at.
Okay. I'd like to go
you
out.
There?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'd like to go out there and take a look at that area and see if we could do a daytime calling. I know how you can bring it in. And it'd be like ringing the dinner bell to it. But the thing of it, you don't know which direction it's going to come from, because when it comes in, it's going to be barreling in. So you need to have a position. You don't obviously you want to have more than one person with you. And secondly, when you start calling, Wiley Dave, my buddy, he's got a call that he's made that's just incredible. And it is different. He's a coyote caller, but it's a lot different than a predator caller. It's got two frequencies, and it's got a high and a low pitch. There's not one on the market. And the last time he used this thing, he called one in out in western Oklahoma. But you never know which direction they're coming. That's the problem. And you never know how many are coming in. But you can call them in.
Yeah, and here's the problem you're going to run into here. It's the fact of where you're going to have to go to call these things. 50 yards of sight at the most. You're not going to be able to see whatever's coming. That's the fun of coyote hunting around here. You don't see them until they're on top of you growling at your eye.
Coyotes we can take. It's this thing that's fast and it's got so much speed and can leap that it can be in the trees too. That's another thing that people don't realize. These things can actually harbor in the trees. They can climb trees like a squirrel. They're just not ground. They're in the trees as well. You're dealing with something. If it sounds like it's the same thing that we're calling dogman type creatures. That if it is,
my only thing to some of the, because ever since I talked to you last, I've done some reading, and I don't think on like what we're dealing with is not 10 foot tall. That's for certain.
Well,
I don't think it's that.
And here's the thing: it may definitely, I believe you, but before it becomes large, it has to be a juvenile. You know, they're small before they get big, so you could be dealing with a young one that's not quite fully matured yet. So that's possible, very possible.
And a young one's probably worse than the big one.
And that it may be a factual statement you just said. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's how it is. You look at coyote pups. Coyote pups are fearless. I shot a coyote pup that was, but not like a little pup, like around a year length. He was 10 feet from my pickup. Just looking. He didn't care.
Yeah, they don't know enough. It's kind of like kids. You know, they don't know enough to be fearful. So they just, you know.
What about, I've got an idea. Me and my cousin talked about this yesterday. Something, you read the report, people say don't shoot at it, you know, you're just going to piss it off. What about poison and dart guns?
Well, now
I've
that's...
got access to a syringe gun. You put something real potent in there.
That's possible. That's very possible. Poisoning them, that's another possibility. The thing with it is that you could poison it, but then did it really die? You don't know. I mean, if you don't see it, you know it's not around, but you're kind of guessing. Is it? Is it not? So I mean, those are good points too. Those are definitely things to consider in moving it. You know, trying to deter it away. The other factor is that what we don't know, and this is going to sound kind of crazy, is that I just got through saying earlier, where there's one, there may be more. If there's more, do they have a level of understanding that you took out a family member? And now they know where you live. So I know that sounds like a very far-fetched thing here, but out of all of the interviews that I've done, this is how we learn, is that there is the remote possibility, based on some of the behaviors that have been described to me, that they do have some level of understanding of remembering, whether it's through your smell, your scent, your sight, I don't know, combination. That's the thing. Because once you put your scent out there in the woods, they know, they won't forget. I mean, it's kind of like a bloodhound in my mind. That's the other factor too. So there's been some people that swear up and down that these things followed their scent all the way back home 25 miles, 50 miles. And we can't prove it, but we can't disprove it either. So those are good things to consider for sure. I think the best thing is, you know, short of, really the best thing, just taking it out. Do a headshot. Headshot, get it still, gun on a tripod, pow. And then don't go after it, let it fall, and then wait. Just stand your ground. Wait right there. Don't bust the brush to move. Wait, just wait. And then if there's any, if there,
Just a piece of advice: if you do come out with guns, like this is not the area unless you're going to do a field set. But if you want to actually go to where we're seeing all this, that scope ain't going to do you no good. Because it's going to be running around and you ain't going to be able to pick it out of the trees. We hunt with open sight.
yeah, if it's that close, then I agree. I hunt. I mean, I carry a 500 Smith and Wesson, so open sights. There's no scope.
Yesterday, well, I took an AK-47 yesterday, but I mean, I know you said in our last phone call that you didn't want if somebody would come with y'all carry a gun, and I'm all right with not carrying one.
No, well, with you, that would be fine. You were raised in the outdoors. It's the people that I ask them, did you grow up rural or do you live, when was the last time you touched a firearm? And if they said years, then I get a little uneasy. It's pretty much if you were raised in the rural area in the country and you hunt fish all the time, I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. It's the city guys that, last time I touched a gun was 10 years ago. And the gun that they're using, they haven't fired in 15 years. So I would feel on something like this, I would hope everybody would be caring and watching each other's back. When you go in there, you watch your six.
That's the thing. Like, you really got to watch all your corners. I mean, because it's so thick you can't see.
You have a lot of cedars down there?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Cedars, tall grass, thick brush, thicket.
Would a drone help at all if you were able to get high to take a look?
Maybe in some spots, but there and again, you're going to run into the problem that from the top, that canopy is wide.
Right. Was it black or brown? Can you tell?
I don't want to say 'cause it's all black. I mean, and down there in that, it's thick. You can't always tell. It certainly wasn't any sort of light color. Now, the thing in the picture now is a lighter color.
Okay. The thing in
a tan.
That's interesting.
The head on it, the ears, if you look at them, almost like those rounded bear ears, but just longer and more extended. Not even the pointy ears I'd have seen at the lake.
Okay.
Different.
That's interesting. Very interesting. The email, if you've got a pencil and paper or something, I'll give...
Hold up. Give me a second. Yeah, what is it?
Okay. The email is cryptidbrothersinvestigations@gmail.com.
I mean, if y'all want to come out here and call or set up cameras, what kind of time do you think that'd be?
How soon?
Yeah.
Well, I would have to take a look at my schedule. I mean, I've got to see kind of what I have coming on this week, and if I look right now, let me take a look and see when here. I might. We'll just keep tabs in the meantime on how Freddy looks, but there's a couple things that we could do. So we could do something like with that live bait. We have access to that call. But the thing, it's just, I'm kind of thinking of the surrounding area. You really want to get to it. You want to get a vantage point. You want to get high. You don't want to be low on that ground.
Well, how far can you shoot?
I can shoot a long ways. But like you said, the shooting lanes are small anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess it really doesn't matter. It just would be.
I mean, you could get high on one of the hills, you wouldn't be able to see the most. But you'd have to have something that could reach out there and touch them.
Well, we have that.
I mean, and I'm plus.
You're cutting off here. I lost.
It'd be
There you
like plus 800 yard shots, like 1,000 yards.
Well, we do have. I mean, Wiley's got some custom guns. It's 4,000 feet a second. They're definitely a bipod gun. They're bull barrel, heavy, extremely fast, and he can make shots like that. But it's been a while. So that's a high level looking down. Man, that's a long ways though. Shoot.
And the exact spot we were on the other day, I can't promise that I can get you in there, because it's family land, you know?
Right.
We're really not permitted to just be bringing people around.
Right.
And especially, they wouldn't want the kind of attention y'all might bring if the neighbors saw you.
Okay. Well,
I mean, are your vehicles marked? Does it say what y'all are doing?
No. We never do that. We don't.
Okay.
We don't have marked vehicles. We don't make a spectacle, because we've been on places like that, and we keep things on the low end. Well, I can probably say it would be, what I would like to do. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where when you have an opportunity and you can place all these game cameras out there, I'd like to get a great picture of it before someone takes it out. But if you take it out, that's where I'd like to get a good picture of it, because not many people have a picture of it, let alone have taken these things down. Now, a headshot, if it poops and breathes, and I mean, you can take it out. They're not invincible. I just think that we don't know enough about the anatomy to know if it has a plate on its chest like a hog or whatever. But that head, anything hitting in the head, it's going down. I mean, with the right load. So it'd be great to see this thing and get it film or something. That's what we're trying to do. How many?
I mean, the Hail Mary chant, somebody beats it. What do I do?
You cut out. Say that one more time.
By the off chance I get that shot off, or the really good picture, I know send the picture to you. Would you want me to call you and have you come out and take pictures, or?
If you get it down, I want you to call this number that it shows up, and let's see, this number that shows up should be
Hello?
Hey,
My service keeps going. Say that again.
if you do get one down, what I want you to do is call this phone number that I'm calling you on. It should say,
All right.
and then you get one down, you can call me on that number. I wouldn't, and you know this, I'm just saying it, but definitely don't put things on social media. Keep things on the low end. If you talk about it to a family member, just say, hey, I got something you got to see. Don't say dogman, anything like that, because we don't know. I know it's a far-reaching. I think there may be algorithms on phones that these people use, and somehow it picks it up. So I would just keep it, I got something down, and that's all you have to tell me. I got it down. And I will bust hump out there. I will be there as quick as I can.
All right. On the same hand, though, you hear some poor farmhand in Blaine County is going missing. Bust ass out here and kill the damn thing.
Yes. You when you go out, do you carry your phone? I mean, you carry some type of a GPS?
It's not gonna do me any good.
I mean, someone knows where you're at. I mean, that's the thing. If you can, but I mean, I know we can. We get Wiley and my brother Lane and Bill. I mean, I know for a fact if we saw it, and it's what's kind of hard is exactly when you're in the thick of that cover, and you don't get any shooting lanes. It makes it harder to, because you got, you'll have your bullet deflected 10 ways to Sunday in there unless you've got a lot of mass pumping behind that ammo.
Yep.
I've got a 458 SOCOM ordered. I get probably in about a month, and it's on an AR platform, and it is a rifle cannon for short distance. That's what
I've got a little short bolt action 450 Bushmaster. That's what I deer hunt with.
Oh yeah, okay, plenty big.
But dealing in this, I prefer the rounds.
Yes.
I want just as many as I can get. Because if anything, I mean, like all animals, you shoot at it enough, it's bound to at least get scared.
Right. Right.
I mean, if you hail 60 rounds at it, even if you only hit it in spots that ain't going to kill it.
The thing that we don't know about this thing is that makes it very uneasy is its level of intelligence. We just don't know. I mean, I have to admit, I've done a lot of interviews and I've listened to a lot of shows, but some of the shows, what the people say this creature did, I can't say 100%. If I don't want to say I don't believe it. I'm just going to say if it did what this person said it did, it's smarter than any canine that's ever existed on the planet. I mean, these things, opening car doors, waiting in trees, unscrewing light bulbs, lifting window sashes, able to open doors, go in homes. Open gates, all kinds of things that you're talking something like a thinking like a man. That's the part that I don't know if that is a farce but there's enough of these interviews by credible people you can't help but wonder and scratch your head. So I have to assume that these things have a level of intelligence, and that's why I say I agree with you. You got to have a lot of firepower that you can one after the other, and you can at least get target acquisition on it fast. At least that head is going to be big. It's a melon. That's what you want to go for. But you've got to have something so tantalizing that it wants either when you call it. Now, if you can have a game caller that is away from you, not where you're calling it by mouth to you, but calling, where you have like a remote control game caller, where you can set that game caller in the center, and that's what you want. And then you can back away and have you can cut out a cedar where you can wedge yourself like a pie in there, or somehow gets where you got your back covered. But you want to take someone with you, of course.
It's just, the more you talk about this, the less and less I want to go out there.
Well, I'm just trying to share what I have learned through doing all these interviews. I mean, it's not something I'm just saying I'm trying to give you the level of possible intellect these things may have. I don't know fully, but based on the number of interviews and what these people said it did, Now, many of these cases, they didn't see it do it, but they know how they left something, and within the hour or the next day, it was open, or it had been closed, or something used it. And the only way it could have done these things, as many of these people said, is it had to know how to open it, lift it, walk through it, pull it, push it, or whatever. So it's, I mean, I admit they're scary to even think about, but it doesn't mean it can't be got. There's still a level of wildness in it on a canine level that it can be called in. It's got to eat. And when it gets really hot, typically game follows the water. Game keeps around the water. So if it gets really hot and these creeks dry up, it's going to stick where the main water sources are at, because that's where the small and large game are going to harbor. So that's a good time to call one in. Definitely. So I think it's a little too smart to use one of those traps, but we don't know. No one's really tried a lot of these things, honestly. I know a lot of people say they have, but I don't know if they've exhausted any efforts. So we just don't know. I'm just sharing it with you because I'd rather you have some knowledge of, is it better to know or not know? I think it's better to have some knowledge to say, well, there's the possibility. It's a heck of a lot smarter than any coyote. I would rather tell you and be honest with you rather than leave it from you. Is that game camera still out there that you're aware?
Yeah.
Okay. How many do you have out there?
3 after yesterday.
Are they all pointing around that feeder?
No, they're pointed all the trails going into this area.
Okay. Well, if it works out that now you work through the day, right? And then you get off in the evening. Is that typically your schedule?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in the process of going to buy some game cameras. It would be great to surround that place with game cameras and bait it in, besides with corn. Use a meat source, because it's going to smell that meat. It's going to be tantalizing. And put that meat up in a tree. Wire it wire it up in a tree where it can't just grab it. It has to gnaw at it to get it, where it gives you enough time for that camera to get actuated and it get a couple of good shots. We've done that before. So we'll take a chicken and go up about 8 feet. And then what we do is just wire it around that tree where you just can't slip out. We stick the wire through the chicken, around the chicken, back through the chicken, and just then we put 2 game cameras on that chicken on that tree. And the game cameras are not at the 4-foot level. We get them up high and we angle them down. We get them to about 8 feet, and then we angle it down just enough. And these are game cameras that the actuation switch, it'll actuate at 40 to 60 feet. So we've done that before. I haven't got any good shots of anything yet. We've got like pieces of
There.
I can't even make out if it's a foot or a tail. It's been very close to the camera, which is very interesting with being high up. I can't explain it. Well, I would like to definitely see, we'll stay in touch until Friday, when Friday comes here, and I'll be noodling this. If you could send that, I'd really like to see that, I'm fascinated now. You piqued my interest.
I'll send it to you. As late as it's getting, I probably ought not think about things like this.
I would just take a deep breath and just don't worry about it right now. Just put it out of your mind, get some rest, get fresh perspective, think about, just here and there. I still think deep down that these things are fearful of us. They don't want to be around us. And that's just my 2 cents based on a lot of interviews. I don't think they want to intentionally cause harm. I think still deep down they're fearful of us because they know what we have. We have these fire sticks called guns that can kill them. I think they might have a sense of awareness of what, death is, but I'm not 100%. I know that sounds strange, but that's just my 2 cents. But just, we'll stop. I'll get off here and then just, try not to think about it too much. Just, you'll probably gain another way that you can, I think that they like to avoid game cameras sometimes. I think they can see the infrared, but if you get a fast enough shutter speed on those cameras, you can get good pictures sometimes and get lucky. Your idea of putting poison is not a bad idea either.
I mean, at the very least, we just get the coyote.
Yeah. And make sure that you don't have any dogs running loose out there, of course. You might get a hog, you might get a couple coyotes, but what you do is eliminate those hogs and coyotes and put it up in the tree, like I was saying, because it'll get to it. If it's one of these creatures, then it can stand up. It has that ability, and if it can stand up, even if it's an adolescent, it'll climb that tree to get it. I promise you it will. So if you put it up at a 6 foot to 7 foot level, most coyotes, they can't get it. They can't climb trees. And hogs sure can't get it. Now you might have a bobcat or mountain lion if you happen to have one in the area, but since this thing is in the area, I think you'd go for it. And that way you would just... I
will tell you, with this picture, the only other logical argument that could be made for it is an extremely fat in the hindquarters mountain lion, or just an extremely large mountain lion. But with the broken limb and the eyes...
Yeah.
You see the picture. I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah. I appreciate it. If you'll
you
do
reckon
that,
these things are scared of fire, right? I mean, if they're just any other animal.
They're like any other animal. Fire, they don't like fire. They'll run away from fire. They'll move into another region.
So, my final leaving thought, to make me feel better at night, the advent, it does ever harass me in any threatening way. If I torch its area, it should go away, right?
Yes. It doesn't have cover. It doesn't typically, and I say this typically, it doesn't like being in the open too long. It likes cover like I would like cover, like you would like cover. Like all animals like cover. It wants to conceal its identity. So if you knock all the cover out and you knock vegetation out, it's going to follow the food sources. If you burn the food sources out in that area, those animals are not going to be there. They're going to move on to greener pastures, so to speak. So you're right in that thinking.
All right, then. I'll work on the picture.
All right. I appreciate it. Yeah, just send it my way, and I'll take a look at it tonight, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Keep contact with me.